What's going on, my people? Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Kemal AA and this is another news daily video for all of you guys, and it is in regards to Harry Kane. Could Chelsea offload two players in a part swap exchange for Harry Kane? Could Chelsea be sending two specific players that might be heading to Tottenham plus cash for Harry Kane? We'll have to wait and see. We'll be delving into all the latest reports in regards to this, but before I do, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and comment down below your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. But without further ado, let's get straight into this news video. And the biggest story of this video is, of course, in regards to Harry Kane. None other than Harry Kane, the world-class striker that is, the England international, the superstar Harry Kane. And according to ESPN, Chelsea are willing to offer several different players, including Tammy Abraham and Kepa Arrizabalaga, in a player plus cash offer for Harry Kane, but they fear Tottenham will not do business with him. And this is the objective side of me coming out. This is the more cynical side of me coming out, where we have to understand that the odds of Harry Kane signing for Chelsea are very, very slim. If you thought they were slim, it's even slimmer than you think. It's not 2%, it's not 1%, I'd say it's more 0.5%. Of course, in football, even in life, nothing's impossible, nothing is certain. And of course, we could end up signing Harry Kane, but the odds are very, very slim. As I said in the past few videos, cast your minds, if any of you guys are old enough, cast your minds back to the Luka Modric saga back in 2011. You know, Luka Modric was desperate to sign for Chelsea. He saw Chelsea as a dream. He even won on Roman Abramovich's yacht just off the coast of the Mediterranean. Chelsea were desperate for Modric. We even paid what Levy wanted, which was £40 million at the time, before the market was inflated. The following year in 2012, he ended up moving to Real Madrid for 10 million less, for £30 million. So it just kind of emphasises the point and highlights the issue that Tottenham do not do business with Chelsea. Levy hates Chelsea. He will not do business. And I could give you guys a scenario, give you guys a hypothetical situation here where, hypothetically, two teams that are realistically going to be in for Harry Kane and can actually afford it financially is going to be Man City and Chelsea. Now, let's say hypothetically Man City come in with a £120 million offer, and Chelsea come in with a staggering £150 million offer. I guarantee you Levy will take the 120 for Man City. Why? Because Chelsea is a direct rival. It's not worth all that hassle. It's not worth it for an extra £30 million for the backlash you'll receive from the fans. Tottenham's greatest ever player in their history, their top goal scorer, Harry Kane, their superstar in his prime, heading to their London rivals. The fans couldn't hack it, and it's not worth the extra 30 million. So the only way I see Harry Kane signing with Chelsea is, number one, there can't be any competition financially. Man City would have to completely pull out the race, because Man City, if they're in competition with Chelsea, they are 100% favourites because of the rivalry that we have with Tottenham. For Chelsea to have any sort of realistic chance, Man City cannot be in a race. We cannot have any competition whatsoever. Secondly, Harry Kane has to be desperate to leave. He has to push and force a move. And Chelsea can be the only club financially involved and financially potentially pull off a staggering, monumental deal like this. And of course, Chelsea would have to have cash in hand. There is no way Tottenham, especially Daniel Levy, accepting a bid from Chelsea in instalments for a player like Harry Kane. He's not going to take 50 million up front, then £20 million every single year in the following next 5 years. He would want £100 million cash up front and potential instalments after, but he's going to want a large sum cash in hand ready in a first payment, which will be this summer. Yeah, and Harry Kane's already expressed his desire to leave. He said that he wants his future sorted before the Euros start with England this summer. So meaning we haven't got that much time to play around. Not that much time to negotiate with Tottenham. And of course, Daniel Levy is going to play hardball. We know this. In my personal opinion, there's also a massive possibility, because of how late the situation is, because of the Euros coming up, not much time to negotiate. And of course, with the climate that we're in, the financial climate, the pandemic, that not many clubs can afford Harry Kane. It might be a case where, you know, Tottenham may end up holding Harry Kane because Harry Kane still has a 3-year contract left. So, however, what was interesting about this was his report from ESPN saying that Chelsea willing to offer Tammy and Kepa. And I'm thinking, listen, Tammy and Kepa are good players. They're very good players. I think Kepa had a very, very good first season for Chelsea. He had a lot of promise. We signed him for a world record fee, and he hasn't lived up to his expectation ever since. And he had a horrendous second season, and he hasn't been that good this season either. He hasn't had much game time. And Tammy, on the other hand, he broke out last season, scored 15 Premier League goals with no penalties. He helped guide Chelsea to a top 4 finish. He's been quite a good backup up until Tuchel came in. Since Tuchel's come in, he's been frozen out of the squad. But Tottenham need a revamp in their squad. Kepa and Tammy offer Spurs a lot of depth, especially Tammy. You need to understand that Spurs don't have a backup striker. With Kane leaving, they're going to have to sign 2 strikers. I don't see Tammy being Tottenham's first choice because I don't think Tammy is good enough for Tottenham to be their starter, sorry. However, Tammy, again, it solves one of their issues. They've got that backup striker, a player that could offer them another dimension, a player that can come off the bench and give him regular game time. And I think Tammy is that player. He's still young. He has room to grow. He has potential. He stretches the lines. He breaks the lines of his pace. He's got decent link-up play. He's a poacher. I think that, Tammy Abraham would offer a lot of benefits and positives to Spurs. So I wouldn't look at this as something that you could laugh at because... And with Kepa doesn't make too much sense to me. If I'm being, very critical and cynical here, you've already got a better keeper than Lloris, unless they're saying that Lloris is also going to leave, which I don't see happening. But Kepa's not an upgrade on Lloris. Lloris is a better keeper than Kepa, and Kepa is not going to move from one bench to another bench. So the only way I see this is that Lloris will be leaving, but then Kepa's a downgrade, so that wouldn't make any sense. So Kepa was a bit iffy for me, but again, if we are going to offer Abraham and Kepa and Spurs were to accept, of course, it would have to be with cash. So the other interesting part was that Chelsea are mindful that Daniel Levy would need to rebuild in the wake of Kane's departure and believe Abraham and Kepa may offer some appeal, which is quite interesting. And the other piece of news is that one source has suggested that Callum Hudson-Odoi could be another alternative in a deal for Kane, given he has started just 10 Premier League games all season, although the club has previously rejected offers from Bayern Munich. Now, this again didn't make any sense to me at all. Any financial sense or logical perspective. Callum Hudson-Odoi is 20 years of age. This guy has a super high ceiling, and I personally still believe this guy will be England's best player in the future. He will be one of the best wingers in world football. With the potential that he has, with the development under Thomas Tuchel, the pace, the agility, close control, his high intelligence IQ, his finishing is improving, but again, that Achilles injury ruined him. It's going to take time for him to recover. His passing is on point. Have you seen this guy's passing? His diagonal switches, his movement in the lines. He will be world-class in the future. He simply has world-class potential. And I don't think swapping him for a youngster, strengthening Tottenham in the youngster position, but I know Harry Kane is a world-class player and he's in his prime, but I wouldn't do it. For me, it doesn't make any financial sense. We rejected £70 million from Bayern Munich for Callum Hudson-Odoi. That's how sought after Callum Hudson-Odoi is. That's how much potential Callum Hudson-Odoi in fact has. And I think that for a club like Chelsea, if we have a lot of ambition, you wouldn't sell just Callum Hudson-Odoi. You would keep Callum, and then you go out and sign Kane, whether that's straight cash. He's £120 million in cash, first payment, and the rest of £30 million we pay in instalments. So I think that it's not too realistic. Thomas Tuchel rates Callum really highly as well. He's going to work with him. He's going to help him develop. He's already spoken highly of him. And next season will be Callum's year. Now, personally, what do I think about this Harry Kane situation? As I said at the start of the video, I don't see this happening. I don't see it being logical. I don't see it making a lot of financial sense from Chelsea's perspective, because even if we can cough up the money, it'd be astronomical because of the situation we're in. We're a direct rival. Tottenham would never sell to us unless they had no choice. I think that for Chelsea to have any sort of chance would have to offer around £150 million. £150 million for a player like Harry Kane, who's world class. He's in the prime of his career, 28 years of age. You could easily squeeze 4 to 5 world class seasons out of him. He will guarantee you 25 to 30 Premier League goals week in, week out, season in, season out, despite his glass ankles. Because let's be honest now, this guy does have a poor injury record. He does have glass ankles and he's got a bit of a hamstring issue as well. So again, as he ages a bit, he will have these issues. He's not going to be able to get away with it like he used to when he was younger. However, he doesn't rely on pace. He's very technical. He has amazing link-up play. He's a lethal, deadly finisher, and he's simply a world-class player as an all-round player. And he doesn't rely on pace, so even when he's 32, 33, you'll still see the best of Harry Kane, a bit like what Lewandowski's providing for Bayern Munich. But just from the heart side of me thinking there might be a chance. But if we're being realistic here, we have a very slim chance. It's almost null. It's almost zero because of the position we're in. The fact that we're a London rival. We hate Tottenham. I mean, just listen to Liquidator. You come out of Stamford Bridge and it's we hate Tottenham, Chelsea. So you've seen the rivalry there. Chelsea and Tottenham just don't do business. When was the last time you've seen a player move from Spurs to Chelsea or from Chelsea to Spurs? Rudiger, he moved to Spurs last season, but he never did. We just don't negotiate, especially after that Luka Modric saga. Chelsea do not directly negotiate with Tottenham. It just doesn't happen. Daniel Levy hates Chelsea. Roman hates Tottenham. There's just no connection there. There's no negotiating power. We don't have a good relationship with the club. They don't have a good relationship with us. This has Man City written all over it, in my personal opinion. I think if there's any club he's going to go to, it will be Man City. But Chelsea will be in the race. Chelsea, of course, are going to be interested. Who wouldn't be interested? I'm sure Chelsea are going to make some attempts behind the scenes in terms of negotiating, in terms of offering players, like I've spoken in this video, in terms of looking at it financially, if they can afford this whole financial package in one deal without too many instalments. But I still think that with Man City will win the race. So personally, I think that Man City will. But in football, you never know, because nothing is certain in football. But that is me wrapping up the news daily video. If you'd enjoy it, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I'll see all of you guys for my next video. Peace.